Well, hello folks, Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the man cave. Alright, you watch the build, the unboxing of the build of the KAVAN B23, KAVAN Bristell B23. Okay, now we're going to go over the radio setup. Now, the only problem is that the control board inside there, this is the biggest problem I've got, is that they have a rudder, a flap, and an aileron that's supposed to go directly to your receiver, and then you plug two flaps in, two ailerons in, okay, then the two rudders in. Well, the problem is that the configuration doesn't fit for, I guess, the American Mode 2, so whenever I gave it aileron, or gave it rudder, my flaps went down. And whenever I gave it an ailerons, didn't work at all. So what you need to do if you're going to be United States is only use the control board to run your lights and your rudder. Okay? So what's going to happen is you're going to have two wires, okay? On this side of the control board, on this side here, you're going to have the rudder for the nose gear is already going to be plugged in, and then you see that white, this white wire right there. Okay, let me get a pointer. The white wire that's right there, that white wire there, that one's already going to be plugged in, and then you're going to plug in your four lights that come through the wings, and they're going to all be plugged in. They're going to plug, and you're going to have the wires to where the black wires are on this side and the red are in the middle. Okay, so the black's going to be on this side of you here, and then you're going to have the one rudder, okay, that's already plugged in, and then you're going to take the other rudder from back here and plug it in here with the black side towards the battery. Okay, and that's all you're going to plug in. You're going to take your two aileron leads. You're going to have to provide yourself with a Y, plug that into your receiver. Take your two flap leads, okay, provide yourself with a Y, and plug that into the receiver. Now, of course, flaps go to channel 6. Channel 4 is your rudder, which is going to be, there's going to be one wire on the back of this control board that is one wire that's labeled rudder, and it's on this down here at this far end here. It's right there. That goes into your rudder channel, channel 4. And then, of course, your elevator, which comes from the back, goes directly to your receiver into channel 3. Ailerons, which you put on that Y, go into channel 2, and then channel 1 is your throttle. Okay, so 6 flaps, you had to provide a Y, plug them in. 5, channel 5, and on a receiver you leave that open for whatever. Channel 4 is your rudder, is the one white wire that's coming out of the very back or the aft side on this left side of the control board, and that goes into your channel 4. You're going to have to take your elevator is going to come directly from the back, plugged right into your receiver, which is channel 3. Channel 2 is ailerons, that's the other Y that you're going to need. Plug it into your ailerons, then channel 1 is for throttle. Okay, I highly suggest going on Amazon, and you can get a pack of 5 of these for like $8, and they're high quality. I'll put a link into the description of these. I buy these all the time off Amazon, and they work great. They're real good quality. And you'll need, I mean, you're always going to need Y leads. You need them for everything. So go ahead and get you a pack of those. Okay. Now, if you can figure out the control board and do without it, then great. But I couldn't. Okay. I'm just being honest. I couldn't. The only thing I'm using the control board for is for the rudders and the lights. Other than that, I'm wired directly to my receiver. Now, the prop was perfectly balanced, and I did not need to balance the prop. Okay. And yes, I got the prop on, but this spinner, but the only way I can show you CG is with a prop on. Okay. Now, CG for this model is 75 to 85 millimeters back from the leading edge of the wing, if I remember correctly. Okay, yeah, 75 to 85. So to give you a graphical location on the model, if you look right there, this panel line here, put your finger right in front of that on both sides, and you got this little square here. You can see it, little square right there. Okay, same thing on the other side. Directly in front of that square is 75 to 85 millimeters back from the leading edge. So put my fingers right in front of that line, okay, and she will CG perfectly right there. Now to show you on the underside, okay, I've got these little lines. You see this little fill mark here, little fill indentation, about half a inch back is where 75 to 85 is. There it is here, 75, just a little bit back from that fill mark where you can see the spars. So a little bit back, a little bit behind the spars. So let's put it up on this way. Okay, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, and she CGs perfect. It's pretty perfect right there. All right, now when you're hooking up your front steering, okay, when we did the build, make sure that this screw right here on this tiller arm, don't just make it tight, make sure it goes all the way into that indentation, otherwise you're going to have way too much play. So make sure you push all the way up on the tiller while it holds in there so that it's at the complete top. You should see a little bit, about a 1/4 inch of that tiller sticking up above that steering arm, and then it should, and then anchor that flat screw right on in there. Okay, now the antennas that I was missing I found. Okay, glue's right in there, and that long Y that had that flat piece in the middle, you fish it through the back here. Okay, the flat part lines up, and then you bend those wires back, okay, and they just go back at an angle like that. There's also another little antenna that's right down here. See it right here? You just push that in and glue that in. Okay, that's the only peripherals you got. All right, now let's go over the settings. Remember about the box, you're only using, if you're going to, just for your receiver, you're only going to use the rudder and for the lights for the control box. Let's go over rates, CG. We've already talked about CG. Let's go over rates. Okay, now you're going to have to kind of press down, and you'll feel that hatch clock click in. All right, let me show you my rates and show you my flap settings. Okay, I can get organized enough to show it to you. All right. Now, I'm sorry, but whenever I do this, it's kind of hard to remember to talk softly when I'm close to the camera and then talk normal when I'm away from the camera. So just, I don't know what to tell you. All right. See the back of the model. Now, I have set up 3 rates: high rates, low rates, or mid rates, and low rates. Okay. Now, my high rates I have on my G switch. Okay, let me show you what that looks like. Okay, when I pull this switch towards me, I can steer the highest position. So I've got ailerons at 100% and 30% expo. I've got the same for the rudder, same for the elevator. My high is 100%, my mid is 85, and my low is 70. So now that you know what it looks like, now I'm going to show you on the plane. This is high rates aileron, high rate elevator, and high rate rudder. Okay, mid rates 85%, 30% expo. Okay, and then this is low. Oh, and just so you know, on the rudder, however, I left... No, I did that on the same thing on the rudder. I did everything. All three. Aileron, elevator, and rudder are all higher of 100, mid 85, low of 70, with 30% expo all the way around. All right, let's talk about flaps. Okay. Typical Spectrum setup, I have it 2-second deployment. Okay. For flaps all the way up, it's 0/0. I have the Cirrus didn't call for an elevator to flat mix. More than likely, this one won't either. So we're going to leave the elevator nothing. This is takeoff flaps. That's what that looks like. Okay, and then 100% positive for landing, and that's what that looks like. Okay, so there's landing, takeoff, and flaps up. All right, now since I've got an AR631 receiver, I have programmed safe on my switch here. I have the 3 levels. This is my B switch. When the switch is all the way down, that is my safe mode. Okay, turn the motor on real quick. Okay, turn it off, and that's my safe mode. Watch that aileron. Hold the position. Watch the elevator. See the sideways view? It is holding the upward position. You really can't see it that way. You can see elevator's holding position. Look at the elevator now. See how it kind of tilts down? Look at the edge of it. See how it kind of tilts down and holds it? And kind of tilt it up. It holds the up position. Alright, that's how you know safe's working. Alright, now my middle position is my AS3X. Okay. And then my position closest to me, or position 2, my safe, I have AS3X, nothing is on. Okay. So I'll probably take off in what I will call that manual mode, which way I can make sure she's all trimmed. And then I'll probably fly around in AS3X most of the time, which helps me with wind mitigation. And then should give you a demonstration of landing and takeoff with safe. All right, so we've talked about CG, we've talked about rates, we've talked about now if you're wanting to watch, I'll pick out one of my videos where I do a complete forward programming setup, and I'll put a link to that. That way, if you want to watch how to really program safe select and forward programming on a Spectrum, I'll include that, and that way you can watch that. I've got several tutorial videos just on that, so I feel like I needed to cover that with this plane. Just know that I have it. Other than that, it's a pretty safe, pretty straightforward setup. Should fly great. I took her out in the driveway and out on the street and taxied her at 90, put her at 90 feet away, and did a range test. Of course, that's the receiver. She passed with flying colors, and just a good looking plane. The lights, the front navigating lights and the front landing lights are not as bright as I thought they should be, but they look fine. They look just fine. Okay, and it's a pretty simple setup. Should fly really well, that heater that's in the wing. I wish that this hatch mechanism was not a pop-in, that actually had a spring-loaded pin that I could move in and out. But I don't. It doesn't come with that. Oh yes, the battery. All right, I went online real quick, and you want a 2600 to 3300 4S to run the plane. All right, let's go ahead and calibrate the ESC so I can show you how to do that. Okay. And what I want to do is go ahead and take this prop off, since we're going to be calibrating the ESC. Okay. You need a flathead screwdriver, or you need a Phillips head screwdriver. But I had to have it on in order to show you proper CVG. Please pay attention to what I'm doing. Okay. What I'm looking for when I calibrate a ESC is I'm looking for, once it's calibrated, immediate throttle response. If I get that, then I know that it's calibrated. Okay? Alright, so the way you do this is safe now because the prop is off. You're going to, okay, make sure your motor's working. Okay, it's working. Unplug your flight pack. Take your throttle all the way up to 100%. Okay. Do you hear them first two beeps? Alright. That's what I was listening for. The first two beeps. Now as soon as I touch this throttle, I should have immediate, yeah, I got immediate thrust. Alright, so now I know that my ESC was not calibrated. Now if I had hit this and it went up about maybe 3 or 4 clicks before it clicked in, then it knows, then I know, or it knows, I'm sorry, I know that the ESC doesn't know where the beginning and the end point is the throttle. So let's go through that procedure one more time. It's not going to hurt, okay? Okay, let's make sure it works. Okay, prop off. We're going to plug it in. We're going to take our throttle all the way up. We're listening for those first two beeps, and when you hear those first two beeps, you want to drop your throttle. Because what that first two beeps is records the maximum throttle, and then when you drop it, it then records the bottom throttle. In other words, both limits of the throttle range. Okay. Okay, you know what? I screwed that up. Hold on. We can start over. Gotta make sure the throttle's on. All the way up. The first two beeps. All right, now the last four, the cell count. So we got immediate. All right, we know we're in good shape. By the way, I could find nowhere in the instructions what these two long bolts are for. I have no idea. I cannot figure out where they go. And there's the instructions show you a supply of all of the stuff that comes with the model. It shows the other two screws, but it does not show these, so I don't know what they're for. I hope the plane doesn't fall apart in midair. So, okay. Well, there you go, folks. That is the KAVAN. Oh, by the way, and once you get all those in there, this KAVAN receiver and everything cover really won't quite fit in there. So, I mean, you could put it in there if you want to. There's little places for it, but it doesn't really fit, and it's kind of rinky-dink and just in the way. So, I don't suggest you using it. Well, anyways, there you go, folks. That is the KAVAN Bristell B23, the blue and white one. They also come with a yellow and white one, and I can't get over this foam. This foam has got to be some of the best quality foam I've ever come across. I mean, it absolutely. My only negative is I don't like how this hatch. You kind of have to massage that down in there. But other than that, she is a fabulous, fabulous looking plane. I cannot wait to fly her. Can't wait to see how she handles, and I'm thinking she's going to be a lot of fun. All right, folks. Well, thank you for watching. Again, who was that? FPV Tech, FPV Builds and Tech. Thank you so much for the model. And you know what? Well, that's not going to look good on there, though. That yellow will not look good. Never mind. I was going to put it on there, but I'll put it on my radio box. Well, there you go, folks. That's the Bristell B23 by KAVAN, sent to me by FPV Builds and Tech out of New York. And they're the only place you can get KAVAN models in the United States. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. God bless y'all. And don't forget, Faye, family, and friends. Oh, yeah. And he did give me a 10% discount to do this review. And he said, go ahead and tell people that. I didn't give you the plane. I'm not paying you for it, but I'll give you a discount so you can show the plane. And that's what I've done. And he said, I want positive, or I want absolute true reviews. He said positive or negative. He said, I want everything shown. He said, if you're not going to give me a real honest review, then don't do it. So I'm like, hey, I like that because that's the way I want to operate anyways. That's how I am on my channel. If I don't tell you honestly about the things, then there goes my integrity, and there you go not wanting to watch me, and why do I even have the channel then? I'm not reaching anybody, I'm not helping anybody if I don't have any integrity, okay? I like the way this model looks. I like the way she put it together. There are a few issues, like how the hatch goes on. You got to make sure that the nose tiller arm that flat screw is in there nice and tight. But other than that, I wish that the tail screwed on instead of glued on, because if I have to replace that, I'm going to have to buy a whole new fuselage. However, I will tell you one thing: if you are careful with it, you can feed rubbing alcohol onto hot glue, and it's basically, this is kryptonite for hot glue. It'll undo. Other than that, you're going to rip the foam apart trying to get it apart. So, all right, folks, y'all have a good one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. God bless you, and don't forget faith, family, and friends. And then Bristells from KAVAN.